Mr. President, I come to the floor today because I want to share with people what I'm hearing from my constituents in New Hampshire about the situation that we're in here in Washington. I've heard from small business owners, from retirees, from working people all across the state. And one of the things that struck me about the majority of people that I've heard from is that they're willing to make sacrifices to help this country address our debt and our deficits. But they want to see us here in Congress act, and they want to see us compromise. So let me just take a few minutes and share some of the comments that I've received from the people of New Hampshire. First is from Diane, who's from Manchester, our largest city. Diane says, "Please get off the party line and work together. My welfare and the welfare of my small business is at risk. I only employ 5 people, but it's 5 people that don't need to collect unemployment or take another job. Don't take away what's left of my retirement by crashing the market. Work as a we, not as an I, and get it done. This is not the first time the debt cap needs to be raised, and it won't be the last. Please do what will have to be done anyway so we can continue to bring this country back. I don't want to lose my business," she says. Who's going to win the next election is not what any of you should be thinking about. I believe if you don't act, all of you will lose. That was Diane from Manchester. Now, David from Meredith says, "At the age of 25, I'm already the owner of a small software company in the Lakes region. We currently have 5 employees with plans to grow. We're expecting our profits for next year to exceed $1 million. As an employer, small business owner, and at my age, I feel as though I will be greatly affected by budget decisions we make during the next week and into the future. I want to make sure that America stays as one of the best nations in the world." And he goes on to say, "I have never written a letter to any member of Congress before tonight." And then we have Janine from Auburn, who says, "Settle the budget now. The dysfunction in Congress is embarrassing the country. As a small business owner, I can't afford the uncertainty of a political fiasco. If interest rates rise, I can't keep my business afloat. I would rather pay increased taxes." And Eric from Hollis says, "As a small business owner, I'm unable to plan and hire employees due to the uncertainty the current standstill in Washington has created. Please get the USA back to work and making progress and stop the bickering." And then Brenda from Enfield says, "My 77-year-old husband retired last year. I'm planning on retiring at the end of this year, collecting Social Security at full retirement age of 65. We've been good citizens, running our own small business for 40-plus years, and we've been diligent in taking responsibility for our own retirement savings. As you know, over the past 2 years, due to economic pressures, we faced substantial reductions of our retirement portfolio, and again, now face irreparable damage just as we retire. My husband and I urge you to do whatever it takes to build a cooperative bridge in Congress to protect the economy from further trauma." Cynthia from Exeter says, "I'm receiving Social Security due to a disability, but I would gladly give up $5 a month." This is Cynthia, who's on Social Security. "If everyone shared in the idea of balancing our nation's budget issues and deficit, I would like to see revenue raised. At the same time, I would be willing to sacrifice some of my Social Security." And finally, Sue from Campton says, "My husband and I would be willing to pay higher income taxes, and we would be in that higher tax bracket, to come up with a compromise to save this great nation." I hope that when you read this message, you'll understand that there's a majority of Americans who are willing to sacrifice for our country. Please find compromise. Our great state of New Hampshire and our country depends on it. Well, I want to tell Diane and David and Sue and all the others who have called and emailed and written to me that I agree with them. We must act and we must compromise. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I've supported a comprehensive approach to dealing with this country's debt and deficits. It's an approach that's been bipartisan, offered by the so-called Gang of Six. It addresses all aspects of our budget: domestic, discretionary spending, defense spending, mandatory programs, and revenues. But I understand that we're not going to be able to get that done between now and Tuesday. So that's why I'm willing to support an approach that only makes cuts to the budget, because I know that we have to compromise. But compromise means that everyone, all sides, the House and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats, all sides have to give something up. I believe we have good people in the Senate on both sides of the aisle, the majority of whom want to see a resolution to this impasse. Well, the time is now for all of us to compromise and to do what's in the best interests of this country. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.